New developments on a story we brought to you yesterday. A group protesting plans to open Walmart stores in Washington, D.C. Last night, dozens of people showed up, signs in hand, chants ready to go, not at the D.C. Council building, not at the planned Walmart site, but at the home of a developer behind one of the Walmarts. The group, called Walmart Free D.C., even producing flyers in advance of this protest with the man's home address on them, along with a bullseye target. Is this what it's come to? Joining me now, Jason Lewis, a syndicated radio host and author of Power Divided is Power Checked, and trial attorney Chip Merlin. Gentlemen, thanks so much for being here. So this isn't the first time they've gone to this man's house. This man's alleged sin is he wants to develop one of the Walmarts. 4 are coming. He's behind one of them. And they have gone. They went on December 16th, so, you know, not long before Christmas. And now they go back again last night, Jason, to try to make a point within 20 feet of the man's home. Is it legal? Is it right?
Well, the double standard with the crosshairs aside, threats of violence, and I'm not saying this is a clear threat of violence, but threats of violence are not protected speech. As Clarence Thomas said in Virginia v. Black, if you're inciting terrorism or threats of terrorism, that clearly is beyond the bounds of the First Amendment. And what makes this different, as in the cases where Acorn used to do the same thing to banking CEOs, is that they are targeting the homes. They are coming awfully close to trespass. They are going right to people's homes. And as everyone knows, you may regulate time, manner, and place when it comes to this sort of demonstration. And it's certainly closer to
look how close
going
they are
beyond
to his
the
home.
Bounds of free speech than the Tea Party.
Look how, I don't know if our viewers know D.C. that well. I assume some of them do. And the man, there's a lot of row homes or a lot of townhouses like this that are, it's not like the suburbs where you've got half an acre in front of your house. He's 30 feet off of the road. There's no way, Chip,
right,
that this man inside there with his family, one presumes, cannot hear these people who are out there protesting him, and it's not the first time. How often could they do it? Could they do it every night? Could they do it with a bandit? Could they bring hundreds and hundreds of people there and it would all still be legal?
At some point in time, it's obvious that it would become a nuisance and it would be subject to a lawsuit to start. But the fact that we're talking about this on national television right now is proving the point of what they're trying to do. This is organized union protesting, and they want to get the point across that the low-cost provider of retail merchandise in the United States also provides very low wages, very little benefits, and are costing their community jobs.
That's why they don't like Walmart. Now, just to clarify, we've been looking in to figure out whether it is the unions. Nina Easton said her understanding was that these were unions behind this. The Washington Post reported that it is unions behind this. The group itself, Walmart Free D.C., has been very careful to protect exactly who set it up and who's behind it, although they're clearly linked to Walmart Watch, which is originally funded by the SEIU, a union group. Be that as it may, Jason, that's fine. If unions or anybody else wants to go and make a point that they don't like Walmart because they think it costs jobs or because they're not unionized, they can do that. The question here is, how can they do it repeatedly right in front of a man's home, in front of the neighbors? Can you imagine if you're this guy's neighbor? And what is his sin exactly? He says D.C.'s got a 10.4% unemployment rate, and he's going to bring jobs.
Well, the unions have been behind this since day one, Walmart Watch and all of that, because Walmart is non-union and they can't countenance that. They were behind the Acorn protests at bankers' homes. Of course it's a union-inspired drive. And let's be honest about this. The great untold story in the wake of Tucson and all the rhetoric has been a history of union violence in this country, going all the way back to when RFK was investigating Jimmy Hoffa and Greyhound bus drivers who crossed the picket lines were being shot at. That is never investigated by the major networks. I'm glad we're talking about it here. But if they want to have their free speech rights exercised, issue a briefing paper. Come on Fox. But this is beyond the pale.
Yeah, and we have been trying to get them on Fox to no avail. We'd love to have them come on and defend this behavior. Now, this is, they are on public property. This is a sidewalk. And Chip, the First Amendment is critical in this country, and the right to protest is also critical. But at what point? Now this man's been subjected to twice. Once in December, once in January. The thing they haven't even broke ground yet. There's not even a shovel. It's not shovel ready, the project. So at what point can he go into the courts and say, I get the point. I'm going to build my Walmart. Enough is enough?
Yeah, but the point that's trying to be made by the group is that this is wrong, and they're trying to point out Walmart's wrongs. We just celebrated a very important leader in the United States that we take a national holiday, and he promoted nonviolent protests, even if they were illegal. So we have a history of this in the United States, and sometimes the only way you can get a message that there are wrongs that are going on in this particular country is to have this type of protest. As much as people don't like it, work slowdowns. There's been a history of this in the United States, but it's very important because it brings to the attention of everybody certain social wrongs, employment wrongs that have gone on for a long period of time.
Jason, I'm going to let you weigh in, which you clearly want to, but let me just ask you, as I ask you the question, how far could you take that? Because we talked with Nina Easton yesterday, who is the neighbor of Greg Baer, who is a lawyer for Bank of America, who is that man, Greg Baer, and his young son was home alone and was subjected to this protest back in May of 2010. On the lawn with bullhorns as his son is hiding in the closet and his other son can't even get into the house. I mean, I'm going to give you the final word, Jason, but I have to ask Chip, you okay with this?
No, I mean, there comes a point where I think it's illegal, and as an attorney, I can't support anything that would be illegal. But the point is being made, if you read everything that they put out, trying to get across that this is a low-cost provider of retail merchandise that is hurting our communities, and we should stand up and take notice of it.
Go ahead, Jason.
But it's immaterial. If Martin Luther King was engaged in civil disobedience, he went to jail. He was willing to pay the price. These people should, too. The operative here is whether this amounts to an intent to terrorize. And they're getting awfully close to that, Megan.
All right. Well, our understanding that it was peaceful. There were no incidents involving the police. But, you know, you can understand how it may have played for the man who was inside the house. Gentlemen, good debate. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Well, they say revenge is sweet. Or is it? Dr. Laura